The Corpse Snatcher. 1. The unmarked grave. The fog clung to Blackvale Cemetery like a burial shroud, muffling the crunch of Evelyn Hart's boots as she stepped over broken headstones. The new coroner of Blackvale, a town known only for its coal mines and unsolved disappearances, had never wanted this job. But when the previous coroner vanished, along with 6 bodies from the morgue, the mayor had begged her to come. Now, standing in the graveyard at midnight, she regretted saying yes. Her flashlight beam cut through the mist, illuminating a freshly dug grave. The marker read, Thomas Green, 1899 to 1921. But the soil was disturbed, the coffin pried open. Empty. Evelyn's breath hitched. Another one. This was the 3rd grave robbed this week. No fingerprints, no footprints, just a lingering stench of decay and a single black feather. Lookin' for answers, Doc, a gravelly voice rasped behind her. Evelyn spun, nearly dropping her light. Old Jeremiah, the groundskeeper, stood hunched in tattered overalls, his milky eyes glinting. Ain't safe here after dark. He takes what's left. Who? She demanded. Jeremiah leaned in, his breath reeking of whiskey. The Corpse Snatcher. They say he's been here since the mines collapsed in 21. Dragged the dead from the rubble, but never buried M. Just, keeps M. He pointed a gnarled finger at the woods beyond the cemetery. His lair's in the old chapel. But no one who goes in, comes out. Back at the morgue, Evelyn studied the files. Thomas Green's autopsy report was missing. So were the others. But in the bottom drawer of her predecessor's desk, she found a journal. Its pages were stained with something dark and flaky. October 13th, the snatcher came again. Heard him in the vents, hissing, clicking. Took Mrs. Donovan's corpse. Followed the trail to the chapel. What I saw. God forgive me. October 17th, they're not dead. Not fully. He stitches them together. Gives them new life. Or something worse. The flock, he calls them. They hunger. A cold draft swept the room. Evelyn froze. The vents above rattled. Click click click. Like bones tapping metal. She slammed the journal shut and grabbed a scalpel. Too late. The power died. In the suffocating dark, a wet, guttural groan echoed. Something dropped from the vent, a mangled figure, its limbs sewn backward, jaw unhinged. It lurched toward her, whispering in overlapping voices, "Join the flock." 3. The Chapel of Flesh. Evelyn fled into the woods, the creature's shrieks pursuing her. The abandoned chapel loomed ahead, its walls oozing a viscous black slime. Inside, candles flickered, revealing a nightmare. Corpses hung from the rafters like puppets, their organs connected by pulsing veins. At the altar stood a towering figure in a tattered plague doctor's mask, stitching a grotesque amalgamation of body parts. "Ah, Dr. Hart," the snatcher crooned, his voice a symphony of agony. "You've met my children." He gestured to the flock, twisted hybrids of stolen corpses, their eyes milky, teeth gnashing. They were lonely. But you'll keep them company. Evelyn stumbled back, but the flock surrounded her. The snatcher raised a rusted bone saw. "Don't fear. You'll be perfect." 4. The Unending Flock. Days later, townsfolk found Evelyn's car abandoned by the chapel. Inside her morgue, the journal lay open to a new entry, written in handwriting not her own. November 1st, the flock grows. Dr. Hart is with us now. She sings so beautifully. And in the cemetery, Jeremiah tended a fresh grave, humming as he buried an empty coffin. Above it, a new headstone read, Evelyn Hart, 1989 to 2023. But if you listen closely on moonless nights, you'll hear her voice in the vents. Clicking. Hissing. Hungry. Five. Blood beneath the town. Mayor Carson sifted through files piled on his desk when the antique phone rang shrilly. On the other end, a hoarse voice whispered, "Come to the old mine. Find what you seek." In pitch darkness, Carson crept into Blackvale's abandoned coal mine, his flashlight trembling. The air reeked of charred flesh. Deeper in, he found strange symbols on the walls, smeared entrails and black stains shaped like screaming faces. He tripped over a charred tree stump, or so he thought. The light revealed the truth, a human skeleton twisted into a tree, branches of arms and ribs. A slow, dragging sound approached. He turned to see a miner's corpse, or what was left of it, crawling toward him, groaning in dead tongues, "Need fresh blood." 6. The Lost Doctor's Diary. Nurse Leah unearthed a leather satchel buried behind the hospital. Inside was the diary of the missing coroner, Dr. Victor, filled with sketches of hybrid creatures and mad scribblings. The black feathers aren't from birds. Their dead skin coated in toxic fungi. The key to transformation. The Snatcher doesn't die. I tore him apart, yet he rearranged his organs. He needs more pain. The final page held a blood-smeared warning, "If you find this, run. He hears every whisper in this town. Even silence won't save you." The words ended with a six-fingered handprint. Seven. Rituals of the Black Moon. Leah vowed to confront the Snatcher after learning her younger brother was among the missing. She sneaked into the chapel during a lunar eclipse, armed with silver nitrate from Victor's diary. Inside was worse than she imagined, walls pulsating like living flesh, floors matted with human hair. In the crypt, she found Evelyn's corpse, or what remained. Her skull was split open, brain connected to glass tubes pumping black fluid. Suddenly, green light erupted from the altar. The Snatcher emerged, his mask lifted for the first time. His face was a web of tiny mouths, each snarling in different languages. "You're late. The flock needs a new queen." 8. The Ouroboros Cycle. In a bloody struggle, Leah hurled silver nitrate at the Snatcher. His body crumbled like dead insects. But as she fled, Evelyn's voice echoed from the tubes, "He can't die. He is the town." By dawn, Blackvale was empty. Buildings rotted, the cemetery gone. On the horizon, black smoke coiled from the mine. There, Leah found a colossal bell-shaped monument of flesh and bone. Inside, leather tags bore every resident's name, including hers. Nine. The bell tolls. 50 years later, archaeologists visited the legendary Blackvale site. Among the rubble, they uncovered a strange bell. When curiosity compelled them to ring it, the earth split open. Rotting hands dragged them down, one by one. In their final notes, one wrote, "The Snatcher wasn't a man. He was hunger incarnate. And now, he's part of us all." On full moon nights, sewers in nearby cities whisper, "The flock hungers. What will you sacrifice?"